Hello, my name is Derek Turner. Today I'm talking about Lost Horizon by James Hilton, first published in 1933. It's a light read, it's a novel, it's unsatisfactory in many ways from a stylistic point of view. Nevertheless, it's still remembered today as the book which gave the language Shangri-La, the name of an impossibly beautiful, remote and unsullied utopia. Its name I have often seen attached to bungalows. James Hilton was born in 1900 in Lancashire and educated in London and in Cambridge. He became a novelist. Apart from Lost Horizon, he wrote Goodbye Mr. Chips in 1934 and Random Harvest in 1941, both of which were made into successful films. Lost Horizon was also made into films, once in 1937, directed by Frank Capra, a film which ran into tremendous financial, contractual and production problems, but is now regarded very, very highly. And a much less highly regarded 1973 musical version with Peter Finch and Liv Ullmann. Tibet is a country which has long exerted a fascination on people. Hindu and Buddhist pilgrims alike would both ascend into the high mountains in search of spiritual enlightenment. The first Europeans used to see the place were there on particular missions. Portuguese Jesuits, who were the first Europeans to arrive in the 1650s, they were there to make converts, but they also discerned mystical continuities and similarities between Catholicism and the Tibetan form of Buddhism, perhaps because they wanted to see those connections. The first Briton to see the place, George Bogle, in 1774, called it a fairy dream and a perfect illusion. As John Kay wrote in 1982, if Tibet did not exist, some visionary would surely have invented it. The plot of Lost Horizon concerns four Westerners who are taken unexpectedly by plane into the Himalayas, where they crash land and get taken to a hitherto unheard of lamasery called Shangri-La, in the shade of a hitherto unknown but enormous mountain called Karakul, which means blue moon. Shangri-La is an idyll, particularly in contrast to the revolutionary Afghanistan they were taken from. It's a fertile valley with its own temperate microclimate, surrounded by almost impassable mountains. Architecturally, the monastery is highly distinguished. It's described in the book as being like flower petals impaled upon a crag. The monastery is also filled with the art treasures of all civilizations and from all periods. It's a place where Mozart meets Confucius. It's a place where East and West can meet on equal terms. It's also got modern comforts and modern refinements. The four people who've been taken to this extraordinary place are Henry Barnard, an American, an Englishwoman, a missionary called Roberta Brinklow, and two Englishmen, Charles Mallinson, who's very young, and his boss, Hugh Conway. Conway is the principal character in the book. He's the former consul in Afghanistan. He's highly cultured. He's highly principled. He's a man he's a veteran of World War I. He's widely read, widely travelled, liberal-minded. Of all of the four, he is drawn instinctively to this extraordinary place, and he soon gets embroiled in conversations of a high intellectual and conceptual level with the lamas, the people in charge of him. It soon becomes obvious that they're all there for a reason, but he's there for a particular reason, as he plumbs deeper and deeper into the peculiar secrets of this place with its strange and otherworldly atmosphere. He nevertheless has to deal with the frustrations of his comrades, notably the young Charles Mallinson, who detests being there, who doesn't believe in any of the principles behind the place and wants to leave as soon as possible. Conway is himself in many ways already detached from the world, and he finds himself drawn increasingly into the seductive glamour of this strange and enchanting place. Every day Shangri-La becomes less and less like the real world, and that appeals at an instinctive level to him, and to those many millions who have bought and enjoyed this book since 1933. Today, of course, Tibet has other problems. There are other aggressive powers at work in the world, one of which is occupying Tibet and busily engaged in trying to destroy its unique and extraordinary culture. The utopia of Shangri-La seems, if anything, even further away now than it must have done in 1933.